Back in reality, Obito loses all the tailed beasts and is no longer the 10 Tails Jinchuriki. He falls to the ground and Sasuke tries to kill him, but is stopped by Kakashi, who is stopped by Minato. Then Naruto and Sasuke are sent to battle Madara and help defeat him. Minato helps talk Kakashi down from killing Obito, and Kakashi lectures Obito until he comes fully to the side with the good guys. There's some trust in Naruto, he's Jesus stuff, and then while this is going on, Naruto launches a massive Rasen Shuriken to try and get Madara eliminated. Obito, meanwhile, attempts to use Rin Rebirth to revive everyone and sacrifice himself for the betterment of everyone else. And it almost works, but then Madara unveils his secret jutsu, the Black Zetsu Possession. Well, since Black Zetsu is Madara's will, this makes sense. For now. So then Madara gets revived, and for some reason he is stronger in life than death, which is never explained why he is the only case unlike all the other Edo Tensei.
Alright guys, so this part was not originally in the script, but I just sort of thought of this while I was editing. So, he has Obito use the Edo Tensei jutsu on him, right, to revive him. But we know the person he's reviving isn't Madara, because that's not Madara's corpse. Kabuto shows us the jutsu involves like a living person, and then just a piece of Madara's flesh would be put onto that living person. So in theory, it should have just revived the living person there, inside of Madara, and not Madara. If you wanted to revive Madara, he's probably in like one of Kabuto's labs, or like some cave somewhere. Like, it shouldn't have revived him here. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Then this guy goes to town beating the shit out of everyone with no eyes. Why does he have no eyes? Who knows? Who cares? I guess it would be too OP to use his strategy to multiply the Rinnegan or something, but whatever, it makes for some badass scenes when Madara cuts down everyone. This guy takes on 7-tailed beasts and emerges perfectly okay from Gaara's Sand Seal, because even though you need Sharingan in both the eyes, he can still use Susanoo. Guess you just need both to unlock it, but not to maintain it? Wait, why am I even possibly defending the Uchiha? So then Zetsu shows up and gives him an arm, and Madara casually cuts off the arm to replace his own. Which, okay, fine, first Hokage cells, whatever, just explains everything. But then he just transplants a Rinnegan like it was nothing? This isn't how eyes work. I know we had been pushing the limits already with Kakashi getting his Sharingan, but at least there was medical jutsu and supervision, and it took a bit. But Madara just shoves it in like he's stuffing a donut down his throat. Ah yes, my Rinnegan is back. Just gotta shove the other one in from Obito. But first, let's capture all the tailed beasts. So Naruto gets the 9 tails ripped out so they can execute Project Tsukunomi on a wider scale, I guess. And then Naruto dies. Roll credits. But actually, Madara gets into a fight with Lord Second. Gaara tries to save Naruto before he completely dies.
Madara wa ganrai yasashii otoko da.
So Madara and Tobirama have some philosophical debate, and then Sasuke tries to kill Madara, but he stops Sasuke in mid-air and stabs him in the chest. Then we see poop-obsessed White Zetsu fighting all the others atop a massive wood statue with all 5 chakra natures. Then Madara drives Sasuke to the brink of death, and we get a little cliffhanger in the story. Basically, our main characters have reached their lowest point. It's a real Empire Strikes Back ending, with both of them about to die. But, of course they won't. So let's see what ass pull they use in the story today, shall we? So in Naruto's case, Kurama tells Gaara to have Minato implant the other half of the 9 tails into Naruto. Doing so, he claims, can save Naruto as he will be a Jinchuriki again. Or something. Let's evaluate this, shall we? So by implanting what is essentially a separate Jinchuriki, Naruto's life can be saved. There are 2 halves of Kurama, but they aren't really connected, so could Naruto's life also be saved if he was just sealed with another tailed beast? Remember, it's not like these 2 Kuramas could have combined into one super and complete Kurama, or if they could, nobody said it. So thusly, it makes more sense that Naruto will be saved just because he's getting another tailed beast inside him and has nothing to do with the 9 tails, because this one and the other one have fundamentally different chakra. Before we can do that, somebody has to pump Naruto's heart. So Sakura just grabs his heart and repeatedly squeezes it. Okay, if you squeeze somebody's heart like that in real life, not only would it not do the effect you are intending, it would probably kill them. Now I'm no medical doctor, But when someone goes into cardiac arrest and their heart stops, usually the hospital's choice of treatment is a defibrillator to get the pulse back to the heart. Even in CPR, you're pushing on the chest to try and get the heart to pump, but you aren't literally squeezing it like an apple. Push a little too hard and the thing's gonna burst, Sakura. Maybe it would be more useful if you had lightning style to try and restart his heart. Maybe it would be more useful if you knew how to do anything. I'm not a medical expert and I can already tell you that's retarded. Then Karin decides to break the universe and unlock her own power. Since she's an Uzumaki, she can use these chain things to contain chakra or something. And Orochimaru remarks that she has unlocked Kushina's power. But I thought that was a secret. I mean, I know Orochimaru is a researcher and all, that isn't what I'm saying. But the way he phrases it, he kind of implies it was this broad Uzumaki power that Kushina had, and why not just say it's an Uzumaki power? Why point to Kushina when few people knew about it? You know what? I'm getting hung up on the wrong things. Let's move along.
この熱血ド天然野郎どもと一緒にいてもろくなことないよ。ネジよ、なぜ私を一人にしたのよ。
Yeah, Tenten, make a joke about your dead friend 10 minutes after the fact, you piece of shit. Fuck you. So back with Team Minato. Obito begs them to rip his Rinnegan out so it doesn't fall into Madara's hands. Now while I get that, I also have an objection. Since when has having one eye stopped anyone in this series? I would say yeah, prevent it because you don't want him to be able to use Susanoo, but we saw him use that jutsu with literally no eyes, so I guess that doesn't matter anymore. And with one Rinnegan, he still has access to the Geto statue and presumably all the power it lends. So why does Madara really care? Or anyone else? One or two, he has the same powers as far as we know, so just let it be. Wait, hold on, we gotta move on to this horrible scene. So Naruto arrives and they're like, put the nine tails inside him, and so he just touches him to move the tailed beasts. And you did Reaper Death Seal when the Leaf Village was attacked. Why? I mean, yeah, I could live as a father with my son if I used this jutsu. But instead I'm going to use the one that forfeits my life. Dad of the Year. Really happy tailed beasts can just pass around now like the bubonic plague. Everybody can get a piece. Worse yet, he doesn't even manage to transfer the thing because Black Zetsu somehow intercepts it. Now this thing can absorb half a tailed beast? What the fuck? Why can it do that? Why is it so strong? Why does it have room for all this chakra? Anyway, Madara arrives and Obito kind of fakes him out and stabs him in the stomach and declares himself not to be Madara in a kind of neat speech. I think it's one of Obito's neat character moments. So he rips out the nine tails and part of the eight tails and just needs to transfer himself to get it to Naruto. Meanwhile, we see Kabuto healing Sasuke, who's about to die, which is also a cool character moment given how Kabuto had also been playing the bad guy up until now. Seeing him and Obito revert is a nice little reversal. I mean, it drags on way too long and Izanami is still really stupid, but whatever. Then we get the ultimate moment of fan service. After 670 chapters, since he can absorb all their jutsu, Guy opens the Gate of Death and battles Madara. Now this cannot be understated. Of all the jutsu foreshadowed, this was the most anticipated. I have friends who dropped the show mid-war and skipped everything up until these episodes just to watch the 8th Gate in action. Everybody has wanted to see it since it was first mentioned. Given that, let's evaluate whether it delivered on the immeasurable hype. This thing we've been waiting forever to see would have been awesome if Guy actually died. Hell, I would have been okay with Guy killing Madara using the 8th Gate. Would have been a fitting end for his character, and yeah, Guy isn't my first choice to eliminate the ultimate enemy, but considering Kakashi fought Obito, this wouldn't be too far off. Let's be honest for a minute here. The ultimate showdown we were all really wanting was just between Naruto and Sasuke. All this other stuff is secondary and was really just supposed to serve as a means to an end to that fight, in order to get them stronger and such. I mean, I know post 5 Kage Summit nothing is building up to that and the bombshell comes out of nowhere, but we'll tackle that later on. All I'm trying to say is having one of these people defeat Madara wouldn't be a huge deal in my opinion. Especially with how he was actually taken out by Black Zetsu, but later. Especially if it was with the Gate of Death, the thing that makes you Hokage level. Although I guess everyone more or less is Hokage level now, so maybe it won't be as hype. Oh, who am I freaking kidding? Let's get into this shit, baby. So it starts out with everyone begging him not to do it, and Guy, being the noble guy he is, realizes he has to do it. The circumstances most certainly call for it, Nobody has any jutsu that will work. I mean, now Senjutsu works for some reason because, well, fuck Naruto's Rasen Shuriken, I guess, or whatever. But since nobody has that right now, it's all on Guy. Good writing circumstances here. Now, oh my god, he punched him like 200 feet underground. Guy is running by kicking the air. He's doing donuts around Madara. He is punching the air and making huge streams of force with it. He just broke the black chakra thing that Naruto and Sasuke struggled to break. But unfortunately, Madara doesn't die here. And we gotta cut it off with what might be Ass-Pull no Jutsu level 10,000. Naruto and Sasuke meet the Sage of the Six Paths. 1. This emerges from nowhere. He just shows up. 2. For those of you who might have possibly believed Naruto wasn't the chosen one, Naruto is made into the reincarnation of Ashura. Ashura, the Sage of the Six Paths kid. Okay. Naruto has always, from day one, pretty much exemplified the theme that history repeated itself. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura trained under their respective and most similar Sannin. Sasuke left the village just like Orochimaru. Naruto became a sage just like Jiraiya. Sakura got Mitonic regeneration like Tsunade. Capiche? Makes sense and is subtle enough. Then you get Minato's team. In it, there's a direct reflection of Kakashi's relationship with Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke. Sakura is Rin, a medical ninja. Naruto is Obito. They both wear goggles, have this sort of upbeat personality and sense of perseverance, and they both dream of becoming Hokage. And Kakashi is Sasuke, one-track minded with a boatload of arrogance. There's a sort of reversal here, whereas Kakashi was the one to emerge okay from his team, Sasuke moves into darkness while the other two remain okay this generation. It's a neat little inversion, and it's some pretty good writing. Now, since Final Valley, there have been allusions made to Hashirama and Madara and how Naruto and Sasuke represent that same conflict for a new generation. Now, while this was consistent and made sense up until the summit, it makes little to no sense right now where Sasuke is turning away from the dark side. But now, we are supplied with a lore that makes Naruto a reincarnation of Ashura and thus a reincarnation of Hashirama, while Madara is a reincarnation of Indra and Sasuke that same reincarnation. You know, there's history repeats itself, and then there's pre-written bullshit destiny. And a show that had consistently praised carving your own path, neglecting criticism, becoming your own person, hard work surpassing natural talent, this is a serious fucking ass-pull of destiny which overrides all those messages. Now we know if you aren't a reincarnation or an Uchiha, go fuck yourself. You'll never be as strong, nobody will ever recognize you, you're a worthless piece of shit. Hell, Kishimoto even makes a joke out of how far this has gone with Kiba proposing he'd become Hokage. The man is trying, just leave him alone, there's no reason to bully him, everyone else. He just wishes he was a reincarnation so he could be as strong as Naruto. Don't we all? The series has abandoned its themes and morals so it can find a way to reach its conclusion since Madara is too powerful. Also in Ass-Pullville, now Naruto has all the tailed beasts inside him, and he and Sasuke have unlocked new superpowers. What are they? Well, wait, first? Holy fuck, what is that? Is that a super dynamic entry with a whole dragon behind it? What? Well, that was sick. You know what? This atones for everything. 10 out of 10. Greatest arc of all time. And now a noble end for our friend guy. Oh, what the fuck? So now Naruto can just like give people chakra and save their lives, even from the gate of death? Even the guy who is this hot scolded mess right now. Wow. Way to fucking kill a triumphant moment. You know what? I rescind my score. This undermines the whole thing. Fucking 5 out of 10 on that fight now. It was great, but it's been ruined. So now we get Naruto, who summons a lava-style Rasen Shuriken, which Madara jumps away from because it's Sage Jutsu, but Pain fucking absorbed that shit. Now while we're here, I'd just like to point out that since Madara has become the Jinchuriki, he's done nothing but gotten his ass whooped. So when a certain something happens in about 2 to 32 episodes, depending on your perspective, I think there's no excuse. Anyway, the lava style severs the tree and Madara absorbs what he can of it. Then Sasuke gets up and Team Taka admits they are useless and will have no further place in the story. Just as we always knew. And now Sasuke is the fucking Rinnegan. And not just any Rinnegan, it's the multi-tome thing that is also a Sharingan looking design. Well, we have reached peak stupidity on Naruto Shippuden. Naruto as the sage of the Six Path Sage Jutsu and Sasuke as the Rinnegan. They were bestowed these powers because of their reincarnations. I'm quite frankly in awe this ass pull even happened considering Madara's fate in like 3 episodes. Our main characters reach their final forms not through training, not through hard work, not even through a bloodline, but merely through cosmic determinism. This is the worst writing decision in the whole series. Eliminating Madara is dumb, and I have plenty to say about that in a bit, but this power-up, this decision to just give Naruto and Sasuke random strength because plot armor and they're the main characters, crosses the line on a whole nother level. I resent this scene and wish it never existed. Could have just had them come back and sort of finish off Madara after he was weakened by Guy. Would have made for a sort of more epic scene in my opinion if they came back and got him with some sort of crazy basic move. It's almost like giving your characters crazy bombastic powers doesn't automatically increase the quality of your fight. Maybe strong writing would do it better and not giving characters things because the plot needs it to. Moving on, now Sasuke's Rinnegan has random new powers as well as Madara's. Madara can create an invisible clone thing? And Sasuke can teleport things? I think? Anyway, Madara flies after Kakashi like Superman, and while he's flying, sticks his hand out and rips out Kakashi's eyes so that he can use Kamui. Okay, I know Kakashi can use Kamui because he had like Obito's eye and he isn't an Uchiha, but isn't it sort of implied if you already have a Mangekyo, implanting one won't give you their power? Isn't that why Itachi thrusted Shisui's eye into a bird and didn't just keep it on hand so that Sasuke could get it and the jutsu would be activated or whatever? Maybe I'm wrong, but if we're pretending Sharingan retained their powers from transfer, then shouldn't Obito not have his Kamui with all the eyes he's transferred with how many times he's used it? Look, all I'm saying is either a Sharingan adapts to its user's jutsu, in which case you can implant as many times as you want and jutsu stays the same, or it doesn't, in which case Obito should have lost Kamui a long time ago. Can't have it both ways and have it still make sense. Also, we finally find out that Obito had no heart because there was a seal tag or something, which still makes no sense, so whatever. And then Madara reveals that he has orchestrated Rin's death. Oh my god. This is so fucking stupid. You know, for Obito to have kinda come across Rin the way he did was so random and tragic that it felt very real. Obito saw this just because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Something that I think has happened to everyone at least once in their life, and this was that time for Obito. So he witnesses this tragic thing orchestrated by someone who doesn't really matter. I think that was the grander and more important point. This evil just persists through everywhere by everyone. Who helped create the circumstances for Rin's death was unimportant because it inspired in Obito this feeling that anyone could have done it. And thus everyone needs to die and leave this reality so that type of thing never happens again. But by making it Madara's plot, well now all the evil in the world has a source and if we just kill him, we'll attain peace. That is what the show is essentially rewriting and saying by having Madara be the known cause which sent Obito on this spiral. It cheapens Obito's entire character and ruins what was one of the better moments to come from this entire shit show of a finale. No longer can the ambiguous case be a symbol for how anyone could have been responsible. Now it's just Madara's fault. Wowee. Then this week in Stupid, Naruto heals Kakashi's eye and gives him a new one. Aww, ain't that cute. Then another boring fight with Madara where they compete to see who can pull more ass in a shorter amount of time. Madara has 4 limbos. Naruto uses a tailed beast bomb Rasen Shuriken. Sasuke is perfect Susanoo. Sakura has Mitonic regeneration level Tsunade thing. And Madara activates the infinite Tsukunomi. The end.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars.
Seriously though, how does he do it? He doesn't even have part of the Nine Tails anymore. Naruto has the entire thing right now. Additionally, why was he able to control this so easily, goddammit? But really, so the Kage fight that one Zetsu and notice the moon and cue minutes of everyone panicking. They battle some meteorites, and then Sasuke takes Team 7 into his Susanoo, and the rest of the world gets some Renegans, and stares up at the sky to see Madara's jutsu, and then they get sucked into a tree, but Team 7 doesn't because of the Susanoo. Oh my god, this is just fucking dumb, plain and simple. So nothing in the universe can block this jutsu, except the Susanoo. Why? Because plot armor. Then Yamato falls out of the one Zetsu to the ground. I like Hiruzen calls him Yamato and not Tenzin. Man, it's a good thing he knows everything that happened after he died. And eventually our protagonists go to confront Madara and he says it's all over. Then we get the weirdest fucking ham-fisted ass-pool absurd twist in history. Black Zetsu, that guy who took intel, is the ultimate villain. What? Excuse me? So a shocked Madara responds by saying Black Zetsu is his will. You know, kind of making the combination of Black and White Zetsu, Hashirama, and Madara. You know, when they were introduced at Final Valley, the twist and sort of genius was that those two were sort of the people who had fought there combined into one. But nah, he's Kaguya's will now. Way to ruin an actually clever writing moment if you think about it. So Naruto and Sasuke charge the damn thing and get absorbed into Madara's now luscious hair, and then we learn people absorbed by the tree become White Zetsus, and it isn't actually Hashirama. So now not only is Black Zetsu ruined, so is White Zetsu. Oh my god, they ruined both of them in 5 seconds. That's an achievement unto itself. So then Black Zetsu announces he is eternal and he has altered the Uchiha tablet himself to make way for this jutsu to be used under the guise of world peace unbeknownst to all its users. Jeez, retcon after retcon over here. The whole nature of the story is being unraveled and wrecked before my eyes. So now we have reached ultimate crossing. Nagato crosses Obito, who was crossing and manipulating him to begin with, who then crosses Madara, who was crossing and manipulating him to begin with, who was crossed by Black Zetsu to bring back some ancient goddess lady. How riveting. Enter Kaguya, the worst final boss of all time, especially for this series. So this bitch appears and she can use Byakugan but also has a Sharingan in her forehead. I swear to god, I thought Danzo was going to do that with the Byakugan, so seeing this is just sort of a reverse. Anyway, so Kaguya appears and resents Naruto and Sasuke, the reincarnations of her own grandchildren. She also says she doesn't want Earth destroyed any further since it is the nursery for her to get her chakra. Okay, before we move on, let's address Kaguya as a villain. Most of this series' main villains have a sort of ideological conflict with Naruto. I would elaborate further, but YouTuber MathWiz has already done what I could do tenfold, so I'll say this much to make it brief. Kaguya has no ideological opposition to Naruto. He just wants to hoard chakra. Unlike Madara and Obito, who had at least some sort of character conflict because they both wanted peace, just in drastically different ways, Kaguya has none. She's literally a selfish, indefensible goddess. Moving on. So she teleports them all to some random dimension because she can do that, because why the fuck not? We're just making up abilities at this point anyway. So everybody starts falling. Sasuke summons a bird because fuck you if you remembered the single animal clause. It catches Naruto and Kakashi hooks onto the wall using a kunai and scroll. Then Sasuke reveals that only Naruto and Sasuke can defeat Kaguya by sealing her away with the light and dark style print on their hands. Remember Obito? Doesn't that guy have light and dark style too? Right? Why can't he do it? Why must the fate of the world rest in the two of your hands? Literally, it rests in your special hands. Now Naruto can levitate too. Stop making him a god, please. He doesn't need every jutsu. Also, now Sasuke can teleport, and there's a pointless fight literally no one cares about, and Black Zetsu latches onto Naruto and Sasuke to explain the worst twist in cinematic, liturgical, musical, and culinary history. Zetsu planned and orchestrated everything. He was the architect. Not Nagato, not Obito, no, not even fucking Madara. It was all Black Zetsu. He rewrote the tablet to implant the idea of infinite Tsukunomi, waited for a war-written and disparaged person to come along who was possessed by the Rinnegan, appeared right as Madara thought he made him, gave Madara's corpse over to Kabuto, came up with the plan for capturing the tailed beast, planned this 2-day shit show of a war, and everything else up to this point. Everybody had been playing into his hand. Okay, first of all, the sheer odds of this working out are absurd. You mean to tell me Black Zetsu planned for all of this when most of it was reliant upon some level of odds? He planned an Uchiha would come along who was really angry with the world at the same time as a ninja who possessed wood style? 1 in a fucking million, I might add. so that he could unlock the Rinnegan and simultaneously carry out the plan written on the Uchiha tablet that Zetsu took to edit. Really? Second, even if we pretend for a moment that any of that planning makes sense, and it was all logical and realistic and not out of the question, it still sucks. To quote Swag Kage, it really does cheapen the whole story to have all these events carried out by one B-villain whose purpose was mainly to gather intel. It feels so unearned as far as twists go. Like there was no foreshadowing to this, no way of predicting it, no pieces to put it together in the puzzle. It comes out of nowhere and it sucks balls. This might be the most atrocious moment of writing which has ever been officially published and syndicated. And I'm not exaggerating. This twist truly ruins not only the ending of this story by being completely underwhelming, but on some level, it ruins the entire thing when you realize this guy was behind everyone's actions. Can we consider for a moment how Zetsu's plan would have gone had Nagato not been killed? What if he survived and the Akatsuki carried out the Tailed Beast super weapon plan? Then the ground would really be awful for Kaguya's garden. Seriously, so much had to go exactly right, it's ridiculous. I want Black Zetsu to buy me a lottery ticket because he sure as hell can play the odds game. Moving right along. Naruto concocts his latest plan to beat Kaguya with a sexy reverse harem jutsu to try and seduce Kaguya. It's a moment of comic relief which doesn't exactly fall flat but feels completely inappropriate given the circumstance. This jutsu is helping to save the world. This frickin' throwaway joke jutsu is going to be what leads to our character's triumph over a literal god. You know, it's one thing to have jokes in your show, it's another to turn your show into a joke.
Thank you. I'll be here all night.
It's okay, that didn't really do much, because now we're in an ice world. Actually, not Sasuke though, he's heading by himself into Wasteland World. Then Obito gets revived, caught up to speed, and Obito makes quite the fucking confusing jutsu declaration. He says if he times his Kamui with Kaguya's dimension transportation, he is 100% certain they will go to the same place. And everybody's just like, yeah, it's a completely baseless assumption, but it makes total sense. Meanwhile, the Kage go to Madara's lower half, and suddenly the Sixth Pass appears before them all because fuck all the other villages, they don't deserve to meet him. Then back in Iceland, Naruto uses Uzumaki Barrage because remember that? Remember when the show was good? And manages to slip in Kaguya's portal to follow her to a random dimension. Then we see how OP she is when she uses a wood bone fragment thing that is in... So we then see Kaguya retreat from this world and Obito was hiding in space-time. And now he can just go to all the dimensions from one sync? For no real reason at all except the plot needs him to. If I lack a reason for anything going forward, just assume the plot called for it. And then they keep dimension looking until they find the one with Sasuke and he comes through the portal with his Rinnegan teleportation thing, which is never explained, but whatever, if I keep rambling about those powers again, I'll be here for the next 8 years. Then Obito teleports them all back and Kaguya teleports them all to a new world, one with intense gravity, for intense emotional plot devices. So there's this big dramatic moment where the bone fragment things from earlier are being slinged at Naruto and Sasuke who are about to die if they get hit. Sasuke can't teleport because his eye needs to recharge for the first time this entire fight. Feels believable. Naruto also can't float or move really fast because of the gravity. Equally believable. Especially when 3 seconds later a disheveled and weakened Obito can run as well as Kakashi and these two can't even move. So Kakashi and Obito rush from opposite sides to protect Sasuke and Naruto respectively, and Ghost Rin pulls them in close enough. Okay, that was insulting for no reason at all. Then Obito uses Kamui to move one of the bone fragments and takes the other one himself. Okay, I get it. It's supposed to be a heartwarming moment where Obito forgives Kakashi and saves him instead of himself, but given the Kamui is a thing, it opens up some questions, like, why didn't Obito try to teleport Kaguya? Why didn't Obito chop off his arm like he did earlier since it's just Hashirama cells and have that take the spear? Why didn't Obito try using Kamui in both eyes as we saw him do earlier? Why didn't Obito Kamui Sasuke and push Naruto out of the way or something so they could have both lived? Look, I'm not saying this moment doesn't work on a dramatic level or anything, but Third Raikage, I mean, Jesus, does it suspend some logic just for this moment? I get it, we need Obito to die, but given how these characters are close to gods, doing it in any logical way is hard. So given the circumstances, I can tell Kishimoto tried with the gravity and all. He just didn't try hard enough. Then after Obito is dying, of course everyone can just stand up. Then there's some speeches given, Naruto chops off Kaguya's arm, and then Obito's fucking chakra comes around Kakashi and grants him his Sharingan for a brief interlude in both eyes. Meaning, Kakashi can now use the perfect Susanoo. No, not even the regular one. He goes straight to the perfect blue one like Madara. Add that to the list of chakra depleting jutsu which should have killed Kakashi. Then Naruto uses some tailed beast Rasen shurikens, 9 in fact, and there's some fighting.
やはりいい能力だなオビト。カムイ来キ。
Congratulations!
A super truth seeker orb appears, and through some fighting and Sakura's punch, they manage to seal Kaguya. Now the fans can't complain that Sakura did nothing the whole series. She made way for Kaguya's defeat. Yay, the series can finally end. Oh wait, the obligatory final battle. So Sage of the Sixth Path summons back Team 7 with the help of all the previous Kage. I guess Daddy Six Paths loves villages besides Kahona after all. By the way, I know this is an odd addendum to add here, but why was Madara revived to look the way he did? Pretty much everyone else was revived to how they were right before they died, but Madara was revived into youth. I mean, I know Kabuto probably could have done something, not a plot hole, just a question. Then there's a legitimate nice reversal scene where Minato is dying and Naruto starts telling him how much of his mother's advice he has fulfilled. One of the only tearjerker moments in the entire war that works completely as intended. Seeing Naruto ramble helplessly to his father as he fades away is just something else on the heart, man. Then while this should logically be the end, Naruto has to fight Sasuke and we all know it. So the question is, what justification shall be provided for it given how Sasuke has just helped the good guys for the past 100 episodes? What could possibly turn him against Naruto now? So Super Gramps Sage says they need to undo the infinite Tsukunomi by having Naruto and Sasuke weave the signs together because Tailed Beast Chakra and Rinnegan. But Sasuke ain't content to do that quite yet. First, he has to kill the 5 Kage and control all the Tailed Beasts to eventually kill them. Why? Revolution. He wants to rebuild the Leaf Village by first destroying it and then taking it from the ground up to remove it from its past. Essentially, Sasuke is that guy who looks at the United States' morally questionable history through historical hindsight and decides the whole thing needs to burn down and be rebuilt, neglecting that every other nation has also had morally questionable histories. Wow, Sasuke's ideology matches that of an edgy 13-year-old. How deep and interesting. And by that I mean shallow, forced, and misinformed. This came out of nowhere, seriously. The 5 Kage Summit, my mans was having a mental breakdown and talking about the leaf laughing at him. He went fucking insane and I kinda loved it. But now he's rational and level-headed, completely stupid and short-sighted in his ideology, but rational nonetheless. Nothing about Sasuke's character makes any sense anymore. He went from vengeful, selfish, narrowly focused to vengeful, selfish, narrowly focused, and insane. Now to vengeful, selfish, narrowly focused, and rational. I just don't get it. Why did any of this need to happen? Sasuke didn't need to go insane and then not insane. Could have just acted completely normal, you know? And killed Danzo without some insane bloodlust. Would have been more believable too. But once he was on the insane track, I was like, alright, I vibe with this, so long as he sticks with it. Now I don't. Now I resent his smug demeanor and arrogant ass. So Sasuke captures all the tailed beasts and the two of them go to the final valley to finish their fight. And now, only now does Kakashi fall over from exhaustion. Really? The man should be in an 8-year coma from this exhaustion and overuse. Then Sakura gives a speech literally no one asked for and Sasuke shuts her up with his Rinnegan. It's awesome. Then Naruto and Sasuke fight. I won't get too in depth with that, but I will say it is much cooler when they aren't in kaiju mode. This scene is a metaphor for how fucking long and tired this journey has been for the audience. Sasuke tries to make himself into an Itachi, an enemy to unite them all. Reminds me a bit of Ozymandias in Watchmen, actually. Except here it's for no reason and it's comparatively stupid. So how does Naruto talk no jutsu Sasuke this time? Well, he basically says they're friends and that's why he must continue to help him. Then Sasuke sees Naruto's memories and friends and realizing being alone is kinda lame. Why it took him so long to figure this out when he had friends before, abandoned them, and only now realizes their value, I don't know. Then Sasuke almost proposes killing himself, but Naruto is like, nah fam. Also, the two of them lost their arms. So Kakashi and Sakura rescue the two of them as they're strewn out on the hands of the fallen statue because, you know, they've broken the curse or whatever. They come together and break the jutsu and everyone is freed. Yay. Kakashi is named Hokage and Naruto still has to train to become a Jonin before he can be Hokage. Oh, so what? Naruto is going to bust out Kurama in the Chunin exams? Or is that banned? Either way, he's going to use Sage Mode and probably murder everyone in his path. Naruto gets a new hand from Hashirama. Sasuke, despite killing the Hokage and proposing to kill all the other Kage, gets to be freed for help breaking the Tsukunomi. Fine. Fair enough. Whatever. I think that's a little much too lenient, but I guess that fucker saved the world or something. Sasuke goes to travel the world to find who he is, and Naruto gives his headband back. The end. People can speculate all day why the series went downhill so fast, and there are plenty of great reasons, some of which I already cited in this script, but overall, I think one reason stands above the rest, and although I have no concrete proof for this, as someone who has been writing stories for the past 7 or so years now, I think it's a logical conclusion. I think Kishimoto just got sick of Naruto. Yeah, I know it was his baby and all, but every baby has to leave the house at some point, and Kishimoto was probably a little too eager to let his most successful child leave the nest despite it being long past of age. I remember when I read through the Naruto manga years ago, and in the earlier issues, say up to before the Chunin exams, there was this one comic, it was actually in issue number 97, where Kishimoto included this panel which said, "The picture above is from a Mafia manga called Mario. The rough draft is complete and I definitely intend to draw it one day. It's 160 pages, so I don't know when that will be, but this is the best manga I have ever created. One day." I don't think he was anticipating writing Naruto for so damn long, but you do what you gotta do to put food on the table, I guess. So in the end, I think the war sucked not because Kishimoto is an awful writer, or a hack fraud, or any of that. I think it's a simple matter of a man losing passion. I guess in the end, you could say Kishimoto just didn't believe it! But everything aside, I still love Naruto. I wouldn't have felt compelled to make this video if I didn't. It's precisely because the series started so high and ended so low that I felt the need to talk about it. I can hardly think of another time my expectations have been so high for a show, only for it to go downhill so fast. Naruto is one of my favorite stories, period. When this show gets something right, it gets it so right. The pain arc is one of the best dramatic payoffs I have ever seen in literature. There's something so great about a long-form story's climactic moments. Sure, a 2-hour movie can deliver a compelling tale in its own way, but it will never reach the same depth as something with more time to develop its characters, ideas, themes, and plotlines. Naruto's not a perfect series, it's far, far from it, and the last third is a horrendous catastrophe which overshadows everything it had done so well. But make no mistake, Naruto ran 15 years for a reason, because despite its shortcomings, the struggle of its main characters and enormous support cast made for some of the most compelling television to ever come out of Japan. As someone who has always felt like he didn't really relate to a lot of people, when I watch the first 2/3 of Naruto, I see a lot of my own personal struggles in life. The feeling of being misunderstood, desiring friendship you can seldom find, and hopefully, eventually, having others come to recognize your worth. Most shows I try to rewatch now that I'm older don't stand the test of time, but for some reason, I can always go back and rewatch those glorious early arcs of Naruto. Naruto was the show which got me into anime. It's inspired me to write countless stories of my own over the years. I think I can say without a doubt, there's no other movie, television show, book, or video game which has left as big of an impact on me as Naruto did. So I know I've talked a lot of shit, like a lot of shit. But thanks, Kishimoto. Thank you for the good years while they lasted. And thank you for creating a story which altered my entire life.
Thank you everyone for watching. I've been working on this for the past 6 months as of me recording this audio now. And I've had this idea for even longer. I've had this idea before the show even ended. Back when I was watching The Great Ninja War, I was like, someone needs to make like a full dissection, just nitpicking the hell out of everything wrong with it. And I hope I did a good job. I want to give a quick shout out to Nux Taku and Swag Kage, two YouTubers who I watched when researching for this video. I watched their videos mostly because I didn't want to repeat the same things that were already being said, but I do think some of their ideas inevitably slipped in. I know I even literally credit Swag Kage in the script at one point, and I'm pretty sure he also had the idea of Orochimaru being the one behind the jutsu instead of Kabuto, so I do want to give him credit where credit is due, and if I happen to take anything else those two have said, subconsciously or otherwise, just want to give them the credit for that. In the description, I'm going to leave a link to the script and a list of all the songs used for those of you curious or interested, or maybe I don't know. I've heard that people in other countries have trouble like watching videos, so they just prefer to read the script. I know Digibro has said that before. So that's there. You can laugh at all my misspellings as I frantically write my response to everything happening on screen. And that's about it. I got some other videos planned. I'm not entirely sure when they're gonna come out, but it's been a great ride, everyone. Thank you for your time. If you like this video, please subscribe and share it with all your friends. Leave a like and a comment below. It'll help this video get bigger.